Welcome everyone back to the Dreadcast. My name is Tom. You should already know that. But if you don't, welcome to the Dreadcast and thank you for joining us. I just wanted to introduce this episode and possibly the next 3 episodes that fit in with this saw trap theme. Just by saying, yes, unfortunately, it's more of a visual episode. So if you're watching it on YouTube, hi, and you get to see all the little traps and all the tiers that we are going to be ranking them in. If you're listening to this on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, however you're listening to it, I feel like we do our best to describe and talk about every trap in its detail and how we're ranking them. If not, please do let us know. Send your comments on into the thedreadcastpodcast at gmail.com or write it in the podcast comments on whatever service you're using. Feedback would be great because we'd like to do more of these tier lists in the future. We're even thinking about doing the final destination kills and how creative they can be. So yeah, I just wanted to kick off these episodes just by stating that. Also, yeah, I probably should have watched every single film to really narrow down the finer details of the plot, the characters, and the traps themselves. Have seen every single film. Me personally, I think I went through them about a year ago, and years passed before that. I've watched them over again. So they're in the memory. They take a bit of clicking back in the brain, as you'll see in the episodes, but please don't hold it against us. We're here to simply discuss our love for horror on this show, and with these next few episodes, what we determine are our favourite and worst traps in the whole of the Saw franchise, excluding Spiral. Spiral is the film we did not include in this series. So yeah, I think that's about it. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's get into the million Saw traps and determine which ones we believe are our favourites and which ones are just at the bottom of the barrel. Hope you enjoy.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Do you ever fantasize about
Damn enchiladas!
That's much too vulgar a display of power, Karen.
Let me ask you one question. Are you having fun?
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Because I promise you, you and I are going to have some fun.
Oh, no.
It is time to keep your appointment with the Wicker Man.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Shut up, you bitch hog.
Game over.
Good evening and welcome to a series we like to call We're Trying Something New Out, because I am personally not here
it's the morning.
for this will probably get released in the evening. I am not here for a whole month of April, so we're trying something new out to fill up time where we don't have time to discuss some horror movies. So we're just going to fill some time with whatever this is going to be.
What a way to sell the episode.
I wanted to really sell it.
Enjoy
I
this
really
time filler we've come up with.
Time filler. This is time filler. Yeah.
God, this is what?
What's up?
One Piece. This is just a filler arc.
How dare you? Don't talk about my baby like that. Welcome back to the Dreadcast. We are actually sat next to each other if you're watching the video, as you can tell.
We're not. It's
a really good green screen.
Clever editing. It will look like I'm touching his shoulder, but actually...
These on. I don't need these on.
It's like stroking a T-Rex in Jurassic Park. You know, he's not actually there. Just got to make sure my hand goes in the right area.
These actually aren't long arms. But yeah, welcome back to the Dreadcast. By now, by the time this is out, I don't even know what episode this will be, but we're getting ahead of the game because of the fact I personally am away for the month of April. So I wanted to fill in some gaps while I'm away. So we figured, why not? Let's do a tier list.
Tom, why are you away from the month of April?
I'm going to the land of Nippon, Japan.
The thing is, I knew where you were going, but I was like, I don't know, land of Nippon? Is that like a nickname for Japan or something? I thought it was the land of the rising sun.
It's that as well.
What's Nippon?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I heard it once. I thought
We're not saying something rude accidentally, are we?
Hey, I can cut it. I can cut you out a lot. So yes, we figured we'd do a tier list. I've been wanting to do one of these for a while, actually. And I figured instead of doing films in general, Like, let's rank a film series such as Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, which I know you haven't seen all of them.
That's the issue. I'd have to watch like 7 or 8 films.
Which we'll get to. But to be fair, in my opinion, Friday the 13th, it's... you want to simplify Friday the 13th? It's a killer chasing people in the woods.
Oh, always. Sometimes he's in Manhattan.
Have you seen that film?
No.
Right.
But it's literally called...
Right.
Is it Jason Hits Manhattan or something?
Jason Takes Manhattan.
There we go.
Right. Okay.
That's not the woods.
Hear me out. Jason, we'll get back to this in a second. This is important.
Okay.
Jason Takes Manhattan, part 8. Where is Friday the 13th located?
Crystal Lake.
More specifically.
Camp Crystal Lake.
What's the last word of that?
Lake.
Well done. A lake is like a body of water that's secluded, right?
It might be attached to a river or something, but for the most part, it's
what you'd call it, right?
Yeah.
No, part 8, they sail a ship all the way from the lake to Manhattan.
Okay, that is technically possible because lakes will be connected via rivers and streams and stuff. So you could, in theory.
No, it's a completely different lake.
Okay.
It's a completely different lake, and they're only in Manhattan for the last 15, 20 minutes of the film.
I've seen a clip of him kind of walking down the street. I think Punk stops him or
That's
something.
literally the only shot they got of New in Manhattan.
I think it's quite expensive to film in Manhattan.
Back in Manhattan those days, it was rough as well. I wouldn't want to be there. So there's
dressed up as Jason.
Yeah, there's our little mini review of Jason Takes Manhattan. So yeah, we weren't going to do a film tier list because it's a lot more work for us both to have seen them. We haven't seen every single horror film ever. Well, I have seen all the Fridays and Nightmares, which I'd like to do at one point. And maybe the Halloweens, and maybe the Texas Chainsaws at one point. The staples, maybe Hellraiser, but that's down the line.
I've seen all the remakes of these. I've seen the remake of Friday. I've seen the remake of Nightmare.
That is bad.
It's terrible. But I do, whilst I prefer Robert Englund, I do think that, what's it?
No.
Jolie Holblom, I can't remember his name. The guy who played Rorschach did a decent job of being like a menacing person, but he wasn't. Let me finish.
No, I will not.
The problem was he didn't have Freddy's playfulness. England's Freddy is a bad dude, but he's quite playful at times. He's charismatic, whereas in the remake, he was just a cold-blooded killer.
He is. He only started to become playful in about part 3 onwards, though.
He was still pretty playful in the first one.
Yeah, but it became a lot more comical and gimmicky, his character in 3 onwards.
But what I'm saying is
he said bitch after every kill.
Even in the first one, when he was a bit playful, they didn't have any of that in the remake at all. They lost part of the character that made the character endearing.
Still an awful film. Awful film.
Remake.
I'd rather watch Freddy vs. Jason.
That's hilarious.
Which we have done on the...
thoroughly...
We'll do that again, because I think you enjoyed doing an episode on that. We'll do a re-review on that.
I did enjoy the film. I mean, it wasn't a good film.
No,
I enjoyed it because it was silly buggers, it was funny. They clearly were just thinking, fuck it, let's have some fun with this film. It was enjoyable.
No,
I'm
agree.
not saying it's good, but it was enjoyable. Like,
I'm not saying...
like Attack of Meth Gator. It wasn't good, but it was enjoyable.
Do we do our tier list on these random monster films like Sharktopus? Where does that sit on your tier list? Things like that.
We need to get Attack of the Three-Headed Shark in because Rob Van Dam's in it.
Oh yeah, you meant there's your reference. Now, anyone watching this, thank you. We love you. Thank you for all the support. I know you're probably a bit confused as to what a tier list video is. I know not many people do these or have ever done these. So basically, Nick, why don't you tell them what we're doing? Throw you under the bus.
Well, actually, being thrown under the bus isn't one of the saw traps, but there is being thrown under a car.
Thrown under the car?
Okay, being held under a car. There's the engine.
Oh, yes.
You know, in that
yeah,
terrible,
that
terrible
one.
film.
Yeah, that one.
So we're going to take all the saw traps and we are going to rank them. And you can see the ranking on the screen. And we've decided to rank them with the names of saws. So we have the tenon saw, which is, according to my friend who works with tools all the time, is kind of like the least...
chopped off all his fingers with them.
The least dangerous saw. Still dangerous. It's a saw, but
it's a pretty basic saw.
And then we have the hacksaw, which I know a hacksaw. I used one of those at school.
It's a bit grittier.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a grittier saw.
Then we have the bandsaw, kind of the middle tier. It's dangerous, but if you're competent, you should be okay.
So you stay way away.
Not going near that thing. Then we have a circular saw, which is very dangerous, and even if you're experienced and good with tools, you can still hurt yourself, as Tom nearly took his thumb off with a circular
I
saw.
did. The blood is still on the saw.
And we finished with the chainsaw, because I hear those could be used to make a massacre.
Yes, although technically there was no massacre. What do you determine as a massacre? Is there a body count?
Well, I don't know really, because it's not really a term used by like law enforcement. You need a certain number of kills to be a serial killer.
Yeah.
But you don't need a certain number of bodies for it to be a massacre. When I hear massacre, I think a lot of blood.
Yeah. A massacre, the act of killing a lot of people. Brilliant.
But because of course a lot isn't defined.
I think it's more so with the original with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He only kills Franklin with the chainsaw. Yeah, as I remember, trying to quickly remember.
Other dudes, you've got the meat hammer.
Yep. No, 2 with the meat hammer. Pam gets put on the hook. Franklin gets gored with the chainsaw, and that's about it.
But he does use the chainsaw to scare, and it's the endearing image of the film is him outside just spinning around with a chainsaw.
Also, massacre is just a good word.
It is a good word for a film.
So this is how we're going to rank them, but also how are we going to rank them?
Well, we kind of like how ingenious is the trap, how unique, how memorable. I think is really important with these type of films where there's a shitload of them. And there's a lot of traps.
Yeah.
Which traps do you remember the most? Whether it's for good or bad reasons.
Memorable is better because we as we discussed, what's more horrifying? It doesn't because they're all kind of horrifying.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in any of them.
They're all designed to be painful. They're all designed. I don't want to be in them.
No.
But the idea is, we each have our own thing that we have issues with. You don't like needles.
I don't like needles or eyes. So there's specific ones in this I know I hate the most.
For me, the one thing that always gets me is teeth.
Oh, that's a good one.
For me, it all started when I was a kid. I was getting out of a swimming pool. I pushed up and I slipped and I fell down. I just whacked my teeth on the edge of the pool. I got a slight nick in one of my teeth and it was just ow. And then you know when you've got like a jumper and you put the sleeve in your teeth and you squeeze it back and forth and you get a little squeak sound.
If it's wool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's oh.
Or if your teeth scrape on the side of a cup.
That goes in the chainsaw.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Jesus. My hairs are standing up.
Is it the manner?
Is it the manner? Just teeth, the squeaking of teeth.
I get it.
Absolutely kill me.
I get that. I completely get that. And yeah,
the thing is, I'm fine with blood.
Yeah.
Fine blood. Eyes don't particularly bother me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Compound fractures don't particularly bother me. I mean, these are all horrific things that can happen.
Yeah.
I'm okay looking at and dealing with. It's just for some reason, kind of screeching teeth just absolutely put me on edge.
Well, so yeah, just before we get into it then, so as you can see, video people, watchers, viewers, the setup's a little bit different where we're using the one camera. Hello, we are both here. This is kind of a test run, which is why we're doing it with the tier list. So if this looks weird, it doesn't work, we'll go back to how the usual setup is. For the audio listeners, I hope you've seen all the Saw films, but we'll do the best to describe them just so you can remember.
So we're going to go in order of, we're going to put them in the chronological order they appear in the chronological order of the film.
Literally from the first trap you've ever seen to the last one that ever got made.
But it's not the chronological order of the films in the film's chronological order.
No, not like flashbacks.
So we're not putting Saw X after Saw 1.
No.
So it's the chronological order the traps appear in the film and the chronological release order of the films.
And also, we will not be doing Spiral.
Because Tom hasn't seen it.
Because I've never seen it.
But also, it's from the book of Saw. It's not a Saw film.
I'm so sorry. I do apologise. So, are we good?
I think we are.
We've got our list up above. We're here.
We're saying about how they have to be memorable traps. We might have to look up a lot of these.
Oh yes, we have a second screen here because I can't remember half of them.
I mean, we've both seen all of the Saw films. And there are certain Saw films I have seen multiple times because they're very good, they're very watchable.
Yeah.
And there are certain Saw films I have seen once and have zero interest to watch again. For me, Saw 3D is awful.
Which I'm going to need to remind myself which one that is again.
So, the film before Saw 3D, and I forget what number it was, didn't do very well at the box office. So, they thought, okay, Saw 3D will be our last film. So they took a few of the plot points they had planned for later Saw films and put it into Saw 3D. And then because it was 3D, it made bank at the box office.
Yeah, because that was that era, wasn't it? It was like late 2000s. We had, I mean, Avatar, obviously, Resident Evil did it. Some of the big films that really went with the 3D.
And some of the films that had already been filmed just went and retroactively made themselves.
Yeah.
3D. But,
3D TV.
But I was part of the problem because I saw Saw 3D at the cinema.
I think I did. I went every year to see them.
It made a load of money, and then they kept making them. And it's Saw 3D.
We are part of the problem.
So bad.
We're part of the problem.
I say it's the worst Saw film out of the whole franchise.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, just reiterate. Apologies, audio listeners. If you've not seen every single Saw film, please stick with us. We'll try and describe them. And anyone on the YouTube video, leave what your favourites are in the comments below. That's how you reel them in. Reel them in.
Encourage them to
interact. I also think that was
What's that email address?
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Should we check that? I also probably think that was probably one of the worst intros we've ever done.
Yeah, I was all over the place.
Welcome back to the Dreadcast, everyone, by the way. I don't know if we even did that.
Yeah, you did.
That's how many new emails? That's one. Carry the... Oh, 0. Okay, brilliant. But if you want to send an email into the Dreadcast, this fine show, where can you send it to?
The thedreadcastpodcast at gmail.com.
What's that address?
Can't get enough of that sugar crisp. The Dreadcast podcast at gmail.com. I almost forgot.
Bish, bash, boosh. Right, shall we begin?
We shall.
The first trap, which technically is the first trap which spreads throughout the whole film.
Yep.
Is the Saw trap. The original Saw trap.
The bathroom trap.
The bathroom trap.
The reason the franchise is called Saw.
Yes. Because in the first film, our two main characters are trapped in a very disgusting bathroom.
Carrie Elwes and T'other guy.
I can never pronounce his name. Lee Hwanel.
I don't care.
He's a director. He's a movie director.
He kind of ended up putting himself in the film to save money.
Yeah.
But Carrie Elwes, superb actor.
Oh yeah, completely.
Really enjoy him in most stuff he's in.
Yeah.
Very fun. And he is part of the reason the franchise worked.
Yep.
Because Tobin Bell, superb. Mm-hmm. Carries the whole franchise. But if that first film isn't a success, nothing happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that first film is a success because Carrie Elwes carries the movie.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel like the first film, I mean, really could have stood alone without the franchise. The first film,
as a standalone horror, it would have been amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you always want that first time of that twist again at the end.
Yeah,
you're never going to get that again.
Yeah, he just gets up.
Because I don't believe anyone that says they knew.
No one saw that coming.
No one. I don't believe anyone say they knew that was coming. No. So anyway, we can't discuss every single film. We'll be here forever. So, what do you think?
What?
The simplicity of having a rusty saw cutting your
own
foot off.
It's memorable because it's what the franchise is based on.
It is very memorable.
It's not unique. It's not an original idea because I think it was the second Mad Max film.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
No, I've only seen the first Mad Max film. I never saw...
I think it was the second
Actually,
one.
I think I've seen Thunderdome as well.
I think that's the third one.
Yeah, with Tina Turner.
Yeah. I think it's the second film where... Or it might be the first, to be honest. I can't remember. They kind of blend together at times until you get to the later ones, like Fury Road.
Yep.
Oh my God, that stands out. But a guy, I think he's crashed his motorbike or something, and Gibson's character handcuffs him to like a pole. Mm-hmm. And there's if I'm remembering this correctly, because it's been a while, there's like a spreading pool of petrol, and there's a fire. It's going to reach the fire. It's going to set this guy on fire. So the guy's like, let me out. And he just gives him a saw and then leaves. So if you want to get out, you're going to have to chop your own hand off to escape. And so this saw trap really kind of re-invoked memories of that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I'd say it's a very memorable trap. It's what the franchise is based on, but I don't think it's top tier.
It's memorable for what it is in it's the main aspect of the film.
Yeah.
It's memorable for that. It's not memorable for how grotesque and
I mean, the aftermath of the trap is in the original poster, just the foot.
Yes, yeah. And being that he was a doctor character, he was able to tie his leg. What does he use? Does he use a tie? Yeah.
Oh, no, he uses, I think it's his shirt.
Shirt, yeah.
But yeah, he puts a tourniquet on. And as we find later on in Saw 3D, he survives.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's left open-ended at the end of the first Saw film, and we don't hear anything about this character.
No.
Doctor...
Ever, really.
Until Saw 3D.
I personally think this is a straight in the middle. It's neither here nor there.
I'd put it above that. I'd put it in circular Saw territory.
You think?
Because
of the
it's
iconic.
so memorable, and it is an iconic one.
Okay.
It's
I'm
not
happy
good
with
enough
that.
to be top tier, but it is
because of what it is.
Very good.
Fine. The next two are the flashbacks. So is the reverse bear trap in a way. Actually,
but we get a bit more on that.
Yeah, but these two are very quick in the first film.
We hear about them when the detectives are talking about like finding the jigsaw piece of skin cut out of the bodies, so they know that this guy exists.
We got flammable jelly.
So that is the guy covered in flammable jelly. He's got a candle. He has to try and find the combination for the lock for the poison going through his system, and there's broken glass on the floor. I think it's shit.
It feels messy.
Yeah.
It feels. Or what else can I put in this trap to make it just horrifying for him? It does. The way we describe it, like everything about these traps are fucked up and messed up.
Yeah.
But there's something about a trap like this that just feels. It doesn't feel coordinated. It doesn't feel like all the pieces are put together right.
Yeah. It feels very much like this was just for a flashback.
Yes.
We're not going to see him actually struggling to do this one. We're going to get a quick flashback with some sped up footage, and he dies.
So it's like, so that if he trips somewhat, he could
set himself on fire.
That's
or
it.
He could land on more of the glass that's on the floor.
Do you remember if there's a timer for him? If he's got like a poison running through him?
I think for him, there is a poison in his blood, and he has to get the antidote is in the safe, so he has to get the key combination for the safe. But again, that gets kind of overused.
Yeah, I agree. So I think it's either Hacksaw or Tennant.
I put it in 10. I think
Tennant.
it's very weak.
Yeah,
and I'd put the razor wire maze straight in next to it.
Yeah, quite very large guy. Is he a pedophile?
I think he's a nonce.
I think his backstory, yeah, and he's trapped in a razor wire maze.
So yeah, he's in the middle,
through it, basically.
And for him, I think he has an hour to get out before the door on its timer snaps shut. It doesn't open. It's like a
floor basement door, isn't it?
So he has to get to the door. So he's trying to crawl through the razor wire, and it's cutting him. And it's
neither of these are memorable, that's for sure. And that may be down to the fact they're only on screen for maybe 2-3 minutes.
Didn't want to waste time on a good trap if it's only going to be a flashback talking about it.
Yeah. Okay, I'll put that with Tennant as well. Now, reverse bear trap, I think, is a brilliant design.
This is Chainsaw. For me, I think it's a
brilliant design.
I told you before we did this recording when I was chatting with you, there is one trap.
Is this
for
it?
Me, this is it. It's the reverse bear trap.
Okay.
It's incredibly memorable.
Yeah.
Memorable. The idea of it, of a bear trap going the other way to rip someone's head open, it looks amazing as well.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Visually, it's a great trap, and the fact that they came back and reused this trap a few different times because it's such a good trap.
Yeah.
When I think of the whole franchise of Saw, this is the first trap that always comes to mind. The reverse bear trap.
That's fair.
For me, this is.
I think that's really fair.
God tier.
No, I'm happy with that. The thing with the reverse bear trap, because it's Amanda in the first film who becomes a prominent character in the first 3 and later on, I believe.
Yep.
From films. You see when she gets it off, there's blood, so it's actually embedded into the mouth.
It's kind of wide in a bit.
It's in your gouged in your gore.
Jaw.
Did I say gore?
Yeah, gouged in your gore. It's jouged in your gore.
That is the new name of the podcast. Gouged in your gore.
That sounds really weird,
doesn't it? Just
yeah.
But I think it's not like attached physically to your flesh and the other.
It's done that once it's unlocked, you can get it off.
Yeah.
Unlike some of the future traps.
Exactly. Yes. So I'm happy to put this. This is brilliant. Ooh,
yeah.
That's great.
It's a great trap.
The next two, drill chair and shotgun hallway, are They're traps, but they're not traps in the conventional sense of. I mean, in the film, they're like the next scene where we see someone trying to escape it.
Shotgun hallway is not a saw trap.
It's not a saw trap.
It's a booby trap to stop them getting found. It's
just a bunch of shotguns above,
and you step on a
it's a tripwire.
It's just that is Ten and Saw. That is
fine,
basic. I wouldn't even put it on the list. I'd have it below the list. Drill chair is a saw trap, but he's got it set up as a distraction.
Yeah, so there's already someone in it.
Yeah,
and as the cops are looking for Jigsaw himself, there's two. So he's set up in the chair like we are, and there's two drills pointing down towards the top of his hands.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what makes the drill. No,
I think they're
side of his neck. Sorry, I don't know why I thought that. Can you remember exactly what makes the drills? They automatically go in, and I can't remember how he can escape.
I cannot remember how he's supposed to get out of the drill chair.
Well, let's have a look, shall we? Saw Wiki to the rescue. The drill chair consisted of 3 different parts: a seat to which the victim was chained, and 2 movable poles on the left and right of the chair.
So it was triggered by the cops coming into the room, hitting the pressure switch.
Yeah. Attached to these poles were 2 power drills. The trap was started by a pressure switch on the floor. Once it was activated, the poles started to move towards the victim after 20 seconds.
Escape.
The victim's head would be pierced by the drills. To prevent the victim from evading the drills, the subject was held in place by a neck brace. Yeah. So
that's not really a saw trap. That's just,
no.
Yeah, so there's no way for the person in the trap to save themselves. It's just a distraction technique, like the hallway shotguns.
Because Tap shoots the drills, which stops them, I believe.
In the script, apparently he was an informant for the police.
Tap doesn't find out where the warehouse is from examining the Amanda's tape. He gets a call from Jeff, aka his informant, saying he knows who Jigsaw is and tells Tap and Singh to meet him at the warehouse. Jigsaw's "you have a purpose much greater than yourself" line in the movie isn't explained much, but the script is very much because he was taken by Jigsaw and put in a trap in order to be used as bait for Tap. So he was literally just bait. He knew they were coming for him. And he dies in the script.
That's bottom tier. It's not even a Jigsaw trap. He can't get himself out of it. It's bottom tier.
It is bottom tier, but that also really questions a lot of the mythology of Jigsaw's purpose in the first film, because that is a straight up, you're going to die.
Yeah.
There's no way around. That kind of defeats.
You're going to die unless they save you.
And
he can't save himself.
Yeah, and with all the flashbacks in the later films we get of Kramer,
you must follow the rules.
Kramer becoming Jigsaw and wanting people to appreciate their life. That doesn't follow the rules.
No.
Okay, let's go straight in.
It's probably good they took that out of the script then.
Yeah. As I said, if you are watching this on YouTube and you have more knowledge of these traps, please do let us know. We are not Saw fanatics, freaks. We're doing our best to remember them, so please let us know. It'd be great to learn some new things. So, the last one of Saw 1, Zepp's test. It's not so much a trap, it's just, I don't think that really counts. By the way, this is on tier list, so this is on tier maker, so someone has created this for us.
So Zepp he's got the slow acting poison, and he won't be given the antidote unless he kidnaps the doctor's wife and daughter and holds them hostage and then kills them if given the instruction.
He's being used.
That's not a fucking saw trap.
No, that's just going to go straight in tenon. Yeah.
I mean, the last 3 we just put in, shotgun, hallway, drill chair, and Zepp's test, could easily just not be in the tier list at all.
I agree.
On the fact they're not really saw traps.
So, we're on to Saw 2. First one, the death mask. Now, this for me is...
The eyes.
If
I remember rightly,
it's horrible.
He's got a key behind his eye,
yes,
and he's got a scalpel to get the key out to open up because he's in a almost looks like an Iron Maiden design, but that's going to snap over his head
with spikes inside. This is Chainsaw. This is right up the top.
Yeah.
Yes, because
it's eyes.
It's eyes, and even a scalpel. I can't explain.
Having to go through your own eye like that as well. Yeah.
Just
the guy in the mask does a great job. He really, the acting in that is really good.
Yeah, it's really good, really good. He doesn't even attempt though, does he? He can't. He tries it a few times and he can't do it. Yeah. What about you? What do you think?
I'm happy to put that in Chainsaw as well. It's like the opposite of the we've got the reverse.
I was just about to say, reminds me of
this
it.
Is going closed.
It reminds me of the reverse bear trap. They kind of go hand in hand with each other.
But I like the way that it starts off with him. He kind of wakes up, and it's when he moves, and it pulls the pin out, and that starts everything off. It's a nicely set up opening scene to the film.
Yeah, that happens quite a lot. It's always traps are always triggered by
Them
a wire on a
themselves.
pin. Yeah.
Well, apart from the first film, in the second film onwards, they tend to trigger the traps themselves.
Yeah.
Which is a good idea as well.
If they just suddenly see a random wire, they go, "What the hell is that?" Just pull on it. Now, Saw 2 is pretty much situated all in this one house.
Donnie Wahlberg? Is it Donnie?
Donnie is the police
officer and his
trying
son
to
is
find
in
his
the house,
son,
yeah.
who, is in the house, but then we learned that it was
all pre-recorded.
in the past. Yeah.
I love the fact that Jigsaw just basically tells him, "Look, if you just sit and have a talk with me, your son will be fine."
Yep.
That's all it is. It's just nice and simple.
But it's a Wahlberg and their anger. So what are you going to do?
Dude, Donnie Wahlberg's been in a couple of interesting horror films.
Such as?
Dead Silence.
Is that the one with the puppet?
Yes. Okay. Have you watched it?
No,
okay.
I'm aware of it.
I saw it on streaming services.
Uh-huh.
I enjoyed it to the point I purchased the Blu-ray.
Oh yeah, this I can tell it's already a U film.
It's very good.
It's a very U film, yeah. Puppet films for me are very hit and miss. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the Puppet Master series. If anyone's familiar with the Puppet Master series,
like Chucky. Do you consider him a puppet?
Yeah, it's Child's Play. I know we've done Child's Play 1, and I even discussed it with Aiden, saying they don't do anything. They don't scare me. They don't do anything for me in a horror sense. Kind of take it or leave it, really.
Okay.
I just feel like you can just kick it and just just batter it around. So the first one is Saw 2 we've got here is Electrified Staircase. Do you remember what this is?
No.
No, me either.
You're saying Electrified Staircase. You got because they're all poisoned in the house. They're all having to try and find one of the antidotes to the poison. Oh, again, this isn't really it's not a saw trap.
This is a trap.
Yeah, it's a booby trap to try and protect him from being caught by the police. It's just like the shotgun hallway.
Yeah.
It's not a saw trap, it's a booby trap involved.
As they had discovered Jigsaw's location, it's the SWAT team moving in. Security trap set up in a store depot, Jigsaw's hideout. Originally, it was just an ordinary staircase surrounded by a chain link cage. However, one of the wooden steps was manipulated. If enough pressure was exerted on the previous... Sorry, I'm having a stroke right now.
If enough pressure was exerted on the previous step, the rigged one would spring forward and break the legs of the person standing on the stairs. Moments later, the surrounding cage would be energized, giving everyone who touched it a lethal shock.
Lethal, you say? Okay, as we're looking at screenshots here, I'm vaguely remembering that.
But again, it's not a saw trap.
It's not a trap,
it's not a way that you can get out of it to learn something about yourself. It's just a booby trap to stop you getting where he doesn't need to go.
Now, we've got one that says nerve gas house.
Yeah.
Is that incorporating the whole house as the trap?
Yeah, so everyone in the house has been breathing in the nerve gas.
Of course,
so
they have to get...
die. That's why they're all trying to find the antidotes.
Again, the bottom.
Oh, no, I'd put this above. This is better than the Tenant Store stuff. Because this is the driving force for this entire film. Is everyone in the house has got the same poison running through them. So they're all now having to try and find the antidote. I put it at Hacksaw. I put it above. It's not the lowest of the low. But it's not great on its own because it's what leads them to do the other traps.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
So it's the reason they do the other traps. So it's important. And it's interesting, the idea that we've got a whole house full of people who are all suffering the same incident.
Now, this next one, I just want to confirm
This is
something.
not a saw trap.
No, it's not, but I just want to confirm something before. It is the Magnum eye hole. So it's a Magnum gun on the back or the other side of the only door peephole of this room that they all awake from. But is there something in this room that's, I can't remember, is there something in this room that states like to not
I think there's a sign.
through the
I think there's a sign
peephole,
saying "Don't try the door." Don't try this door. Don't you? I can't remember what it says. It's along the lines of "Don't use this door." And so when he tries to use the door, the gun shoots him in the head.
If anyone on the other side would try to open the door with a key, he or she would trigger the gun, which would shoot. So the other side, if they use the key, they would trigger the gun. Whoever stood in front of the peephole, besides the trap itself, a timer was attached to the door. Once it went off, the door would open.
So they had a key.
Yeah.
The key was for something else, but if they tried to use it in this door, it would shoot them because they was told not to try this door.
We've reverted to using Saw Wiki. So
But this isn't a saw trap. Again, this is a booby trap.
It is a booby trap, yeah.
This is Tenon. This goes at the bottom of the list because it's not a saw trap.
A lot of the other rooms that feature traps are traps.
Yeah.
But wow, are they? Because they're not forced into. Like you said, the house technically is the trap. Everything else they choose to get involved in. The upcoming ones, the needle pit, the razor box, they don't have to do it. They'll die on their own.
But no, they're having to do it to try and survive. So they're showing their will to survive by doing these traps intentionally to try and get the antidote.
Okay.
Because they could not do it and just die. But then again, you could say that for like the reverse pair trap and the death box.
And I suppose they could not. Yeah. Okay. I just want to double check this. The tape told them that they were all breathing in deadly nerve gas since the moment they arrived in the house. While the doors would open after 3 hours, the gas would already kill them after 2 hours. In order to survive, the prisoners had to find syringes with the antidote, which were hidden in the house, with one of them being in the safe. Additionally, Jigsaw told them they all had a connection and told them that the clue to this connection was marked with an X. Okay.
So I think we could actually rename. I think we could rename Tenon Saw to Hammer and just leave it for the things that aren't a saw.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. I'll do that. Amanda begged, because Amanda is back in this film, obviously. Yep. Amanda begged him to listen to the message because she's had experience, which warned them not to use the key to open any door in the room. However, he refused to do so and tried to open the door, which activated the booby trap and caused the Magnum on the other side to go off and shoot Gus Colliard right in the eye. So that's probably Jigsaw's plan. Put someone in there with experience to see if the others would really listen. Okay, so you want to change this to
Hammer, because it's not a saw trap.
Hammer.
And then move nerve gas up to band. So move from hacksaw up to band, and then move
that one to
flammable jelly and razor wire into hacksaw because they are still saw
traps.
I
see. We're going. Yeah.
And then we'll leave those four at the bottom because they're not saw traps. They're a hammer.
Fine with that. Okay, so Magnum, booby trap.
It's not a saw trap.
It's again.
It's a booby trap, not a saw trap.
I suppose. Yeah. Okay. Because the other rooms, they're aware of what's there. That I can see in these.
The other rooms, they are doing something to try and get a.
They didn't know the Magnum was there.
This is a trick.
All right. Fine. So Hammer.
Yeah.
Right. Fine. The furnace.
Oh.
Now I remember
I
him.
Don't like fire.
Fire bad. Fire indeed. Very hot. Yeah. I remember the character. He's a very arrogant, angry gentleman, and I believe he climbs in to the furnace.
No, the other guy forces him in. The big muscly guy kind of.
Does he
force
him?
Yeah, he kind of shoves him in.
This has become a recurring thing on this show now. Where now you've joined, you're correcting me a lot because I don't remember things.
So you got Amanda in there,
yeah,
and she's experienced.
Very.
You've got the cop's son in there, who's just kind of a bit scared.
Yeah.
One of the guys in there is the big meathead, muscly guy, and he's angry.
He's the one that survives till the end, pretty much. Yeah.
And the other guy, he kind of.
Is the other guy drag addict?
I can't remember, but he's something.
Yeah.
But he kind of gets shoved in towards it by the big muscly guy. Like, get it out for me.
To get the syringe at the back of the furnace.
Yeah.
What I don't remember is the fact that he goes in, grabs it, that closes the door.
It pulls on a tag or something.
And then sets it alight and he burns to death.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't remember. Is there a way he could have escaped?
I also don't
Because
remember that.
We discussed the point of the house is they need to. Well, they don't need to. They can go around to find their syringes to get rid of the poison inside them. Surely that's them committing themselves to a test, such as the needle pit, which we'll get to, where Amanda scours through the needles, finds it, and can find the antidote. This was. I don't remember if there was a way to get out of this.
I think if he'd injected himself whilst he was in there, then he wouldn't have triggered the trap. He could have escaped. But because he tried to take it out to do it outside, it triggered the trap. But again, it is a very odd one.
Yeah, it is. The furnace was located in the basement of the nerve gas house. I like that it's titled The Nerve Gas House. While it's you're a fan of 24.
I've seen most of them.
Oh, okay. Well, I was about to say there's the series where they focus on nerve gas. Season 5, my favourite series.
I can't remember. I've probably seen it.
I'm a bit of a 24 fan. Well, its original purpose was probably to supply the rest of the house with heat. Why are we talking about what the furnace actually is? We know what a furnace is. It was a large metallic oven located in the middle of the room. On the front side was a small door originally used to insert fuel into the furnace. On the other side was a small glass window. On the inside of the furnace, just above the door, was a small red valve. This could be used to turn the furnace gas supply on and off. Next to it was... They're literally describing what a furnace is. While one of the syringes could be easily removed, the chain with the second and... he gets greedy. He gets greedy and takes a second.
He wants to give one to the big strong guy.
That's it. Here
we go. So it explains that once the furnace catches fire, the valve to turn it off is by the door he came in via.
Yeah.
But it starts catching fire nearest to the door, so he's got to go through the fire to turn off the fire. So he could survive that trap, but he would get burned in the process. So he could have survived the trap.
Yeah.
It was a survivable trap, which makes it a jigsaw trap.
So next to it was a drawing of a red devil pointing to the valve. Additionally, the oven contained 2 syringes. That's it. That's the key. That's what I was forgetting.
One which he could take off easily, and one which was tied in.
The second was the greedy one.
Yeah.
So, tut, sir. You shouldn't have done that.
But this is definitely a saw trap.
Yeah.
But it's not that memorable of how he could have survived it.
It's not memorable, but the aspect of the burning alive is...
I'd happily put this in band.
I'm happy with that. It's got the horrifying aspect to it, but like you said, it's not
I think
as
burning
memorable.
and drowning are two kind of, for me, I don't like those ideas.
What about if you're burning while drowning?
Hopefully the water will put out the fire.
What if you've got, and I'm not the jigsaw killer, okay? Just spitballing here. What if you've got a pipe forced down your throat?
Oh, joy.
Yes. With lots of, shall we say, water being fed down. But then you're set alight as well. Drowning while being burnt. Or, if you will, burning while drowning.
Oh, joy.
Anyway.
If you fill up a water balloon and then hold a lighter underneath it, it won't pop. The cool water inside stops the rubber balloon getting hot enough to melt and pop. But if you blow up a balloon, it'll pop immediately.
Is that one of your science experiments you used to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it might have been. The needle pit. This, to me, is a straight-up circular saw or chainsaw.
Yeah.
I don't like needles in general. I'm glad nowadays needles are smaller and they're just a little prick.
You got a lot of tattoos for someone who doesn't like needles.
I don't look.
Okay. See, for me, the worst part of this trap isn't the needles. It's the glass syringes they're attached to. Because when she gets thrown in, all the glass is breaking. And so it's not just the needles that are sticking out, it's also the glass and the shards. And that's not just stabby, that's slicey.
Slicey and stabby?
Yeah. Grabby and squeezy?
I hadn't considered that, but I think that's still because the needle aspect trumps everything for me. Because when she's chucked in,
because she is chucked in,
she's like, she lifts her arms up, and there's just I've seen the behind the scenes of that and how they applied it, and even that it's just it's tingling. So
it's not nice. The idea
nice.
being that somewhere in this pit of used needles is a syringe.
Well, that's
full of the antidote.
But that's it. You said used needles. I mean, do they state they're used? Or are they
I think they look a bit ratty.
Everything in this house is a bit ratty. But this is something that I was thinking about when I went to see Saw 10. And I don't know why
I believe you mean Saw X.
I'm so sorry, Saw X. And I don't know why this is something I didn't think about when watching all the other Saw films. I get that he's a super smart engineer, but these things will take a lot of these contraptions would take so long to make, and the precision and maintenance, like the crucifix trap, which we'll get to, the rack. Where
the twisty.
How long I just think about this because of making things for a living, and also where did he get all these needles from? There are hundreds to 1,000 maybe in this pit.
Yeah.
Where did you get them from? So for me, it's memorable, incredibly memorable, because I don't like needles.
I'm happy to put that up in Chainsaw as well. I mean, I don't think it should be there. I'm happy for you to put it up there.
No, I'm happy to go. Not change circular saw.
I think circular saw. Bit better.
Bit better. It's not as. Do you know what? These two compared to these two, if these two pop off, are really horrific.
Yeah.
If these two pop off, which that one kind of already does as soon as you're in it, you're chopping your foot off, you're in the needle pit. They're gruesome, but they're not as gruesome as that. Those two. So I think that works there.
Yeah, cool.
But if you land in that needle pit wrong, oh god, if she lands face first,
oh yeah,
oh god, oh,
but
needle sticking out of each eye.
For me, the bit that makes this trap the worst part is when she is just scraping through to try and how
much adrenaline do you need for that?
Yeah.
The next one, in my opinion, it's a little bit. It's annoying. If one hand,
it's a very simple idea, and she is very stupid.
Yes, the razor box, where two glass boxes. Oh no, one glass box, two handles. Yeah, and the antidote is inside. She puts one hand in, it gets stuck on the razor blades, and then thinks, "I'll try the other."
Instead of going back up and then trying to hold the blades open to get your hand out, because she tries to get the syringe and it's upright and it's kind of stuck at the bottom, and she pulls it by the syringe, so the stopper comes out and it goes everywhere.
This bothers me, this one. Hacksaw or bandsaw, in my opinion.
Hacksaw. It was a very doable trap if you had a bit more intelligence. And then we see her later on just still stuck there.
Yeah, well, she's bleeding to death from her wrist. Because the jacked up guy
just goes to check her number and then leaves.
That itself, I think, is the really horrific part of the scene. She's bleeding
still
to death,
there,
and he just casually closes the door behind her. Yeah. Now, are we?
You say that of the scene. That's later on, because it comes back to her when he's then looking for the things. It comes back to her, and she's still there stuck, and he just looks and then leaves.
Oh, you're right.
It's not immediately.
It's not.
That's the thing that makes it a bit worse. That they come back and she's still there, just going.
She's been there for a while.
Yeah,
a while. That's what we've got here. The last noted trap of Saw 2, because I guess from then onwards, it's
that they realise it's over the rainbow. You've got the colour tattoos of the numbers to get the combination.
But they end up back at the bathroom from Saw 1.
Yep.
Nice little callback.
Oh no, they don't end up back there. The cop does. Wahlberg does.
No, I could have sworn they end up back there at the end of Saw 2. Because in that location, I believe it's where the jacked up guy cuts off the back of his.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, neck to.
Sure.
But you are right. Donnie Wahlberg ends up there in real time.
Yeah, just gets locked in.
So that's Saw 2. So Saw 3, classroom trap.
Oh, we've got to mention. Sorry.
Go for it.
The end of Saw 2, when it turns out that it was pre-recorded.
Yeah.
The son has been next to him in the safe the whole time with an oxygen tank. He's breathing fine. And Jigsaw said, "If you just talk to me, your son will be fine."
Once again, another thing I never saw coming.
You'll get your son back.
Never see that coming.
There we go. 2 films in a row, they've hit you with this fantastic little twist ending that you did not see coming.
Yeah, completely.
So I just felt that deserved to be
mentioned.
You're right.
It's
a really good idea.
No,
the
completely.
fact that everything they've been watching on the video relays had been pre-recorded, none of it was live, was a superb little twist.
I agree. Saw 3, in my opinion, I think has some of the most brutal. Some of the most brutal. Saw 3 is about a doctor who gets kidnapped and is basically forced into trying to heal John Kramer.
Yeah.
In his
I was trying to remember
his warehouse.
if this was the one with the doctor or if this is the one with the insurance guy.
Later on.
Yeah, it's a later one, yeah.
And the doctor's husband is also forced into going through some traps.
So the doctor's not doing traps. The doctor's husband is doing traps to try and get to her.
Well, so he's not technically doing the traps. He's kind of part of the traps, but the traps are focused on other people that have wronged this guy. I think it was his child who was killed.
Yeah. And we don't find out that he is married to the doctor until right at the end of the film.
Yes.
So as far as we are seeing, we have got a kidnapped doctor who is trying to relieve the cranial pressure in John Kramer's head.
Some incredible physical effects in this film.
And we've also got a guy who is on a, not redemption, but kind of a...
Very grief-stricken.
An acceptance, a forgiveness. There we go. He's on like a forgiveness path.
Forgiveness.
Because all the people he's seeing are people who were in some way responsible for his son's death.
Yeah.
And it's whether or not he is happy to save them from the traps they are in.
Yeah.
But that means these aren't saw traps. Because whilst they are killing the people in the traps themselves cannot save themselves.
As I'm looking at them, no, they cannot. It's down to said main character.
So they're less saw traps and they're just murder traps.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. So that's how are we going to do this then?
Got more space in the hammer area.
I think you're right, but I think we can
still put how interesting and unique these.
Yeah, we can still talk about them, but if we're focusing on the aspect of the traps as we've been doing so far.
Yeah.
These probably can't count.
Yeah, because you can't save yourself.
Interesting. So the first one we got here was the classroom trap, which is is it the janitor?
I can't remember.
He's got chains all attached to him by he's like hooked in chains, like one going through his jaw.
Yep.
Like,
and he's got to kind of tear them out of himself to get to the door before it closes.
And I think he does. I think there's nail bombs in the. I think there's nail bombs in the room.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's a nail bomb going to go off.
Yeah.
But when you look at that, he's got a lot of them kind of in the skin he can rip off quite easily. One of them appears to go straight through his jawbone, and you can't rip that. He's got to dislocate his jaw and then rip off his entire mandible. That would be impossible.
It reminded me of the lead singer of Disturbed. Disturbed's leads his piercing. See that?
Yeah.
It starts just below his bottom lip and curls round. It doesn't go back in.
See, that's the thing. This just goes back in. It's just...
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So this is a tough one now. How we rate these because
again, when we get to these series with the film with the insurance guy, they're all he can save them.
Yeah.
As opposed to they can't save themselves.
Yeah, because the main character who is going through this film, this is a flashback. This trap. So no one else is involved apart from him. I mean,
technically, this guy could have saved himself, but it was basically impossible to rip off his entire jaw.
I agree. Yeah, because it would rip from.
You'd have to literally take unless he broke his jaw and then got it out between the bone. But then still, just the
hammer.
No. This is technically he could have saved himself. It's not a booby trap.
So Hacksaw.
I put it in Hacksaw because he could have survived it.
Fine,
but almost impossible.
Fine. The angel trap, which is one of the FBI agents. She's
Dizzy.
Yes.
It's all like whenever I see her, I just
Starship Troopers.
Dizzy. Starship Troopers. Yeah.
God, I love Starship Troopers. She's got this trap rigged into her rib cage.
Yep.
That's going to rip it out. But there's the pool of acid with the key.
With the key in, and she's got to get the key, unlock it, and then
But this is not a trap either. This is
she can't
escape.
do that because she gets the key, she opens it, and it's still wide into her ribs, and she can't take it off, and she realizes, and it just rips her open. Visually, it's amazing.
Visually, it's amazing. But do we also learn this is?
This is not a jigsaw trap.
This is not a
was
jigsaw.
the police officer.
Is his name Hartman? Hoffman. Sorry, not Hartman. This is a Hoffman trap. No, Hoffman kill. This is a Hoffman kill because she was getting closer to exposing him.
Mm-hmm.
It is incredible. It's memorable. I very much remember this one. It's not a trap.
Yeah.
I do think we're going to have to loosen the restrictions.
Because we're going to end up
the interesting aspect, the memorable aspect, and the horrifying aspect. I think
if we were to rephrase it, from saw traps to saw kills,
fine.
We can then accept. I would still keep the booby trap stuff in Hammer because. I mean, the Magnum eye hole was visually pretty cool, but again, it's a trap. It's a trick.
I think we're still fine with if we do. Change categories a bit. I think we're still fine with this. So
the angel trap was visually incredible.
Yeah,
and it was a really cool idea. And again, it's like the reverse bear trap.
Yeah,
it's that mechanical snap out. I wouldn't put it in Chainsaw. I wouldn't put it in. I put it in Band.
Okay, fine with that. The shotgun collar, which is what is applied to the doctor at the beginning of her kidnapping experience. I don't know if you call it a kidnapping experience. And it's on the timer, I believe. If John Kramer dies...
It's not on a timer, it's linked to his...
It's linked to his...
like heart rate
yes.
Monitor.
Well, technically a timer. He's got a time limit of how long he's got left to live.
The old ticker.
Yeah, if he dies...
She dies.
She very much dies. And she does.
Because her husband kills Kramer.
Yeah, because he kills Kramer.
And then John Kramer's dead, and this is Saw 3, and he never appears again.
Never.
From in every film.
Never. Not once.
He wasn't in Jigsaw. No, sorry. He wasn't in Saw. No, Jesus
He wasn't in Saw.
Nick. What I'm trying to say is, he wasn't in Spiral.
No.
From the book of Jigsaw.
Yes. It's not really anything special in my opinion.
I like the idea it's linked to his heart rate, though. I like the idea
it's a cool link, but the rest of it
is she has to keep him alive.
Yeah.
So I would say it's not Hammer. It's kind of a trap. I'd put it in maybe Hacksaw or Bandsaw. It's not top tier, but
no.
The fact that it's linked to his heart makes it more interesting.
But that doesn't give 100%, not 100%, but a possible success rate for her to escape it. He could pop. It's the human body.
But it's to make sure...
That's not her fault.
It's to make sure that she is trying her best to keep him alive. Because she could just kill him.
Yeah.
So it's making sure she's doing her job to the best of her abilities.
It's also, again, not a trap, as we discussed. It's...
I'd say Hacksaw.
Yeah. Freezer room.
I like this.
This is I believe this is the woman that was a witness of the kid being killed. Or she was either a witness or on the jury that helped the killer get off. Because the killer is the guy in the rack, I believe.
Yeah, the killer is the twisty man.
Yeah.
I can't remember if she was... Look up who she is.
Yeah.
Because I think Pigvat guy is the prosecutor.
He's the judge, right?
Oh, it's the judge. I knew it was like something to do with illegal.
I remember how the trap works.
Yeah.
It's chilling.
The only witness of Dylan's death.
Witness. Okay, fine. It's chilling.
It's freezing someone to death. She's in a freezer.
This trap is chilling.
Oh, God, okay, sorry.
For a third time.
Terrible. Let it go. See, that was a joke about Frozen.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that great. Not as good as mine. The concept is interesting.
I think it's really... visually, it's very good.
Yeah.
I mean, they do the whole thing, they make sure they film it with a blue filter, so it looks extra cold.
They love their filters
in
this film.
If you're filming in Mexico, you have a sepia filter. So that's, it's Mexico because everything in the world is sepia. They're cold because it's all blue.
Yeah, that's exactly right, yeah.
She's just kind of hanging by her wrists. She's naked because she's cold, so no clothing allowed. And then, if that's not bad enough
two
in
water
the freezer,
jets.
that's it. They just but it's not water, it's mist. So it's freezing even
Is
quicker.
it really? I don't remember. I thought it was water.
It doesn't... No, well, mist is water.
Yeah, yes.
But
yeah,
it's not
yeah,
spraying
yeah.
her with water. It's spraying her with mist because it makes you wetter quicker
Yeah.
and it will freeze faster.
Is there a way he can save her? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Just when he told him that she was in fact Danica Scott, the only witness of Dylan's death. Dylan, you son of a bitch. Jeff finally recognised her. She was chained up. Yeah, Jigsaw offered the chance to take revenge on her by letting her freeze to death, but also told him that he could save her by obtaining the key to her chains, which hung from a wire behind several cooling pipes. I remember now. Because he scars his face by pushing his face up, trying to reach through the pipes.
He gets a cryogenic burn.
And he really does try to save her.
Yeah, eventually.
When the tape ended, the two metal contraptions positioned right. Yep. He begins to scream and they calm down when the water was turned off again. Yep. However, he refused to do so. Merely watched. Okay. The water was spraying on his. That's it. By the time he's gotten the key, I think she's already frozen to death.
Because he doesn't do it straight away.
He hesitates a lot.
He hesitates. Maybe enjoys her suffering.
So you like this one?
I think it's a really good idea. Because as much as you don't like heat and fire, you don't always think of freezing.
No.
Freezing to death is a weirder one because you're cold, you're breathing in, so your lungs are getting colder. It hurts to breathe. You're going to get...
Painful in general.
Yeah.
Freezing is really painful in general.
And then the idea of it's not just she's... Because if she was just chained up in a freezer,
yeah,
I'll be like, this is a bit shit.
Yeah.
The fact that it's rigged so she's going to get mist sprayed on her, so lead to a layer of ice to make it even colder. I think this is a really good idea. I would happily put this...
I'll give you this one. Where do you want this one?
I'd say it's not chain. I'd say this is a circular saw.
Really?
She could have survived it. He could have saved her. How often do you see someone getting frozen to death? There's no gore in this kill.
No, okay. No, you're right. All right, that's fine. I'm happy with that. Circular. Pig vat. This is he's just getting drowned in
pig guts.
Pig guts.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly a way he can be saved. I just remember it's gross. It's absolutely gross.
Yep. So he's in the bottom of this vat. Pigs are being dropped through a liquidizer.
That's a lovely image right there.
to drown him in the carcasses. And this was the... You said this was the judge?
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Among
So
his possessions.
The key to save the judge is in a furnace with all of Dylan, so the son's leftover possessions.
Yeah.
So if he turns on the furnace, it will burn up all his son's stuff he still had.
Yeah.
But then he'd be able to sift through the ash to find the key to save the judge.
Yeah. This isn't, to me, it's not memorable. It's gross. I don't think it's...
It's an interesting idea.
It's an interesting idea.
Being drowned in rotten pig guts.
It also only works in the location that this part of the film is set in.
But you can say that about a lot of the traps. I mean, the last trap wouldn't have worked if she weren't in a freezer.
But if this
abattoir.
Yeah, it's clearly an abattoir. Yeah. This trap wouldn't work if it was back in the house of Saw 2.
No.
How did he store all of that?
I think this is quite a bad one because I think drowning is really bad.
Yes, you're not a fan, yeah.
And this isn't even drowning in nice, clean water. This is drowning in blood and guts.
Poison. It's complete poison. Well, if you were to eat any of this, you probably wouldn't do.
It'll make you sick.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's just the idea of drowning in like a liquidized corpse of a pig.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Blended liquidized corpse. Yeah.
I'd say banned.
Banned. Okay. I'm just gonna. I don't know about you. This is. I don't even need to say much about it. This is Chainsaw for me. The next one.
Yeah, the rat.
This is probably my most memorable favorite.
It's the most horrible.
It is
of this film.
It's just grotesque. It's a crucifix.
He's in a crucifix, but his hands are in place, feet are in place, and the idea is that everything is being twisted, so all his limbs are being snapped.
One by one. And
yeah.
And it ends with the head.
Yeah.
It starts with, I believe, the leg, and then leg, and then arms, and then ends with the head.
So the guy in this trap is the driver who accidentally killed his son.
Yeah. I'm just going to put that right there. Yeah, it is. There is a way you can help him escape. I think there are numbers on the cogs.
Let's have a look. Yeah. I love the fact we've got this little wiki just to tell us the answers.
Yeah.
The rack.
Although it's a little bit too detailed. Visually, it
great. Looks incredible. I mean, that shot they got there, is phenomenal. The lighting, the setup, every part about this trap looks incredible.
It does.
Go up, above planning. There we go.
You want this one?
To survive the test, had to
give you a bit more.
Okay, it was. I could read it.
Oh, was it too?
Zoomed in.
Sorry.
Go back. There we go.
That better?
Out.
There you go.
That's fine. To survive, the test subject had to rely on the help of a second person. The key to deactivate the trap hung from a wire in front of the barrel of a shotgun located in an enlarged glass box. The wire was connected to the shotgun's trigger. The second person had to take the key. However, once it was removed, the shotgun would fire a shot at whoever stood in front of it. So he had to get shot by a shotgun to get the key to save this guy.
I don't remember that at all.
Well, he didn't do it.
No, I don't remember the shotgun aspect of it. I remember.
You just remember the trap.
I could have. Well, yeah, obviously. Which is why it's top tier.
I like the fact that the first 3 films have each got one trap in the top tier.
Yeah, I hadn't noticed that. That's great. Yeah, that's really cool. And in the next row, change circular saw.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Circular.
Yeah, there's not much to say about it. It's superb. It's horrifying,
but
it's creative.
Come back to what you were saying though. It's how long has he taken to make this thing?
Exactly.
The engineering behind this is incredible.
Yeah, and one person. Because I don't think Hoffman has help with this one.
No, but he might got help from Amanda.
Maybe, but even so,
I'm pretty sure we see later on that she helps with moving stuff around, carrying stuff, and he gives her instructions to build traps. So she is helping him.
He's also not 100% a healthy man.
I was about to say, he is doing all this while he's dying of his, is it brain tumour, I think?
I think it's, because she has to operate on his brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a great way to technically cap off Saw 3, because the next ones are Amanda's test and Jeff's final test, which don't really count. Like the whole film was Amanda's test, the whole film was Jeff's test. So these go in Hammer, I believe, because we're not counting them as traps. Really,
no. I'd say Amanda's test is Hammer, because she's just, she's having to just keep him alive. All Jeff had to do was not kill Jigsaw, and his wife survives.
Yeah.
Jeff, the whole point of this entire film was Jeff learning forgiveness.
Yeah.
And he didn't save anyone, did he?
No.
He saved nobody in this film. He tried a couple of times, but he would rather not burn his son's possessions than save a man's life. He has not learned forgiveness. He wouldn't let himself get shot to save a man's life. Okay, fair enough. I mean, but still at the same time. He didn't help her straight away. He let her freeze, and then he tried to help her towards the end. So Jeff's whole test was to learn forgiveness, and then he sees his wife has been kind of manipulated and being forced to do all this stuff by Jigsaw.
Yeah.
Can you forgive Jigsaw for this? No. He kills Jigsaw, which leads to his wife dying. I think it's a nice arc for the film, that Jeff just did not learn forgiveness. I'd say it's
Hacksaw?
It's definitely not Hammer. Hacksaw or Bandsaw. It belongs somewhere that isn't Hammer, because it is actually...
I'm going to go Hacksaw. Cool. Really. Yeah. Just because it's still not quite...
Oh, no, it's not that...
fit in with the rest.
Yeah, cool.
So, 4. Mausoleum. This, I believe, is 2 people. One has got his eyes shut, and one has got his ears. And they're chained to each other.
So, I've seen Saw 4.
It's the beginning of the Saw 4.
I'm looking at the traps that you've got written down here, and I'm thinking, I've got no fucking clue.
Okay. Well, at the beginning of this, one of the characters in this trap actually is kind of like Zepp. He becomes revealed as the guy who has chained up Donnie Wahlberg, who ends up, I believe, in this one having, is it still one where he's got the ice blocks? Yeah, the ice blocks.
Okay.
Ice blocks. He's sort of tied up on a scales, tipping scales, where there are 2 ice blocks above that will come down and slam on his head and completely crush his head.
Talking about a brain freeze.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. So the mausoleum. Do you want to just a little revisit?
Yeah, I need my memory refreshed.
So it looks like that.
So I was good on the first 3. And
it looks like that. The guy on the left has got his
eyes.
eyes.
And the chain is pulling
them in closer and
Yep.
closer. And they end up attacking each other because they both think one of each other has set them up in this trap.
How do you
Oh no, he's got his mouth. Sorry. The guy's got his eyes closed. The other guy has got his mouth wide shut, so he
one can't see, one can't
yes,
talk.
That's it. Yeah.
But how did they survive this? What would they have had to have done to survive?
Oh, I don't remember. Let's have a look. The trap consisted of a large, heavy metal contraption positioned in the middle of a mausoleum. In the center of the contraption was a winch with a long metal chain going through it. Each end of this chain was attached to 2 padlock collars around the victim's neck. If the chain was pulled on strong enough at either end, a metal pin would be pulled out from the central device, like we've said before. That's how a lot of these traps start.
It's the trigger.
Thereby activating it. After that, an internal winch would start to turn, pulling the chained victims to the center of the room where they would ultimately suffer strangulation. Each victim had a different advantage in the game. On the side of the room where the first victim would wake up was a wooden box with several metallic tools which could be used as weapons, such as hammer, a small axe and hook. However, the victim on the other side with the tools had his eyelids sewn shut and therefore could not see. Meanwhile, the other victim had no tools on his side and could not speak because his mouth was sewn shut. Due to their respective handicaps, they were unable to communicate with each other in their attempt to get the key to their shackles, which was attached to the back of the shackle of the blinded victim.
Okay.
So the blinded victim had the key. The other victim couldn't speak to
tell him. So, although I guess the idea is that the guy with his mouth sewn shut could have probably torn,
which he does in the end.
Yeah.
But in such a state of panic, how do you communicate?
Yeah.
Whilst your mouth is shut, because I think he starts to throw stuff to him, to the blinded guy. What is that? What is that? I think it's clever. It's not that memorable, in my opinion.
I mean, you've had to explain
exactly.
It
Yeah. I'm happy to put this in Hacksaw.
Yeah, fine.
It's still a trap because they could get out of it.
Yep.
Scalpings. I remember this vividly. Scalping seat. What I will say as well.
Is this one with is it a girl with her hair tied to like cogs?
Yeah, that keep rotating. Yeah. And I will say that this film, our main character is the black guy from the SWAT team.
Okay.
Who is featured in Saw 2, along with Donnie Wahlberg.
Yep.
Yeah, you remember?
Yep.
So, and you remember this trap, scalping. So I think this is bandsaw, in my opinion. How would she have survived it?
Well, or how does she survive it?
The thing is, she thinks, because I believe this happens in his apartment. She survives the trap, but I think he then kills her as she's trying to attack him because she thinks he's the one who has set him up.
Yeah.
Let's just confirm that, but I believe that's how it works. Scalping seat. Solid wiki, by the way.
Oh, really?
This trap, we don't need to read that. Scalping seat was basically a mechanical chair consisting of a seat which was mounted onto a heavy machine with an exposed gear system. The victim was placed on the seat and chained to it. The chain in return was secured with a combination lock. Additionally, the victim's hair was put through the metal lug and
precious lug
nuts and then tied to a small metal axis. The machine would be started once a metal pin was pulled out of it. This would activate the gear system and therefore the axis. As it started to turn, it would slowly pull back the victim's hair, subsequently tear out the scalp, which it does. The only way to escape the trap was to open the combination lock attached to the victim's chair. Therefore, the necessary numbers had to be written in the gears. This is what I was thinking of, the rack. I thought the numbers were on the gears. As they weren't visible from the victim's position, the other person, hence the SWAT team, it was necessary to open the lock. Now,
The thing is, this wouldn't necessarily kill you.
no,
I mean, it'd be incredibly painful, and you might end up dying of shock.
this was it. Due to her serious injuries, Rig, because he does help her, Rig told Brenda to stay where she was and not touch anything while he went to the back to the kitchen to get her towel. However, when she was alone, Brenda opened the shelf beneath the TV and found a knife left with her by Art Blank. Art Blank is the character that survived the mausoleum trap.
Yep.
He's basically Zepp in this film. When Rig returned for a few months, he returned a few months later, she suddenly attacked him from behind. After unsuccessfully trying to calm her down, Rig pulled her scalp back even further and threw her right into the mirror. While she was lying before him, bleeding to death, he noticed the tape recorder chained to her hand. So she had a test herself, trap herself. But let's focus back on the trap itself.
It's visually really good.
Visually great. It's memorable to me. I don't know about you.
Yeah. I remembered it, and I was struggling with the mausoleum, so...
It won't kill you, though, like you said. You might bleed out if there's no one to save you.
Yep. You might,
In fact,
you
there's
might
no
go
might.
into
You
shock.
will bleed out.
Yeah. It's incredibly painful, but getting your scalp ripped off won't necessarily kill you.
No.
Which makes it quite interesting as far as the saw traps go.
Yeah. I'm going to go with bandsaw. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Mid-tier. Bedroom trap. This I do not remember one bit, if I'm honest, so we're going to have to look this one up. Do you?
Look up the bedroom. Brrr.
Hubba. Bedroom trap. Oh, okay. Instantly by the picture I'm seeing here.
It's clearly very hot in that room because it's red.
Yeah, it must be South Mexico at this point.
It's either hot or it's sexy.
It's sexy hot.
Brrr.
Hubba. Okay, I'm not going to read all of this every time. This is what I remember. The subject's limbs were attached to, it's like a four-poster. Oh, hello. It's like a redesigned four-poster bed.
Yep.
The subject's limbs were attached to straps coming from each post, and they ended up ripping off each limb. Yeah. On each side of the device were two long miniature scythes. Before the start of the game, two triggers were handed to the victim. Oh, he had a trigger. Oh my god, I remember this now. There was a scythe that went in each eyeball. I forgot about that.
How did you forget about the eyes?
Yeah, I forgot about that one. Each side of the device were two miniature scythes. Before the start of the game, two triggers were handed to the victim.
Okay, cool. So they're on their back, their arms and legs are tied,
Yeah.
they've got triggers. If they pull the triggers, they both their eyes get pierced.
Yeah.
But if they don't pull the triggers after 60 seconds,
Their limbs
the four posts fall away and rips off their arms and legs.
Exactly. That is great, I think.
That is really good, but I don't think it's memorable.
No, it's not.
Do you know why? Because we didn't remember it.
No.
You don't like eyes, and the fact that you have forgotten this trap where you had to blind yourself in both eyes.
Limbs or eyes? Paraplegic or eyes?
Well, if you lose all your limbs, you're going to bleed out immediately.
Yeah.
If you get blinded, you're going to survive. I think I'd rather be blind and alive than be able to see that I'm dead.
The later films are not as memorable to me. Some traps in them are.
Yeah.
The earlier films are more memorable to me, but this one, like, I remember the mausoleum, I remember the scalping, but this one just didn't. I don't remember it as much. But, although the trap itself
It's a cool idea.
is a
really
cool
good
trap.
idea.
So mid tier
Band. Yeah. Great
Um,
idea, but somehow just didn't remember it.
I remember this one, spike trap.
Okay.
This is a couple that have got spikes. They're chained back to back, hanging from a room, I believe.
Hanging from a roof.
I think they're hanging. They're either hanging from like a ceiling.
Oh, okay.
But they're chained back to back. But they've got spike. So if it was me and you, we've got spike going through there, coming out my back, going through your back. And
Okay,
out
so
your front.
we're held together by spikes.
Yeah. And I believe the wife, because it's a couple, starts pulling out the spike. I can't remember exactly why. Should we look it up? Maybe we should have watched them all before we did this.
That would have taken days.
I know. So there you go. There's the visual. It was located in a classroom in the elementary school. Two victims, each one wore it?
Wearing.
It should be wearing, right?
Yeah, it's misspelled.
A leather harness.
So the idea is that one of them is pierced through their arteries, and one of them is not.
Yeah. Chained to a metal column to the back. Both of their bodies were impaled by 8 long, thin metal spikes. While the spikes only caused flesh wounds on the first test subject, the other victim was mortally wounded, as each spike impaled one of their major arteries. In order to survive and to avoid bleeding to death, the first victim had to pull out the spikes, which would inadvertently result in the other victim's death, which was the inevitable. I
mean, that's interesting.
It's very interesting.
It's something I talked about with you on Revenge.
Yeah.
If you've pierced like an artery or something, you need to plug it.
Yes.
Talk about not removing stuff. So here, the idea that part of the trap is that the spike has gone through several major arteries.
Yeah.
So they're not bleeding to death at that point in time because the arteries are plugged up by the spikes. But if they pull them out, so she is not pierced through her arteries. He is pierced through his arteries.
Correct.
So if she pulls them out, she's going to survive, but he is going to die.
Yeah.
And he is her abusive husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is really her test, not his.
I believe so.
Although
she has the tape on her.
She... no, because the way they're held in place. No, I was about to say she could maybe have left the spikes in him and moved herself off, but no, because they're held together by the harness.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's interesting.
It's also like possibly it's one of the least engineered traps.
It is.
This is more a case of good biology knowledge to pierce the arteries. This isn't like the last one where you've got to press the triggers and pierce your eyes or else your limbs are going to get ripped off or going to get twisted up in the rack or something. It's much... Weird thing to say.
Yeah, go
This is the type of trap that someone could make in the real world.
No, easily. Yeah, no.
As opposed to a lot of the other ones. You don't need much engineering knowledge for this one. Which I think makes it maybe a bit scarier.
Okay. Circular? Or band?
I'd say band.
Band. Oh, fine.
I don't think it's over the top enough to go up to circular, but it's definitely better than hacksaw.
Now, explosive puppet, it's literally what it says on the tin. It explodes one of the FBI agent's face.
It's a booby trap. It's a hammer.
Yeah, fine. Easy. Get that done.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Knife chair. Knife
wrench. For kids.
Yeah. Knife chair. Do not remember this.
You played Knifey Cherry before.
I have no idea what this could be. Honestly,
I think it's a knife chair.
I don't know about that. I don't. Oh, good lord! It's this one. Okay.
Hey.
Oh, okay.
Oh god, the picture has just come up, and we've both immediately remembered what this fucking one was.
Okay,
he's got.
Oh,
I don't even need to read it.
Oh, it's horrible.
This is one of his testy things. This is a test chair.
It's a flashback one.
Yeah. So he's got a load of knives on springs. They're here. The guy's got to basically push his face. This is what I'm remembering.
Yeah.
I hope it's correct. Got to push his face through the knives to get his head out. So you've got to slice all into it. Oh, this is really good.
This is great. This is
a great one.
Circular.
Oh, happy. Yeah, straight away.
Just the backstory. This guy is the guy that caused her miscarriage. Kramer's wife, partner's. What's her name?
Angela. I'm just going to start guessing names. Lita. Trish.
Jill Tuck. Yeah, he's a drug addict at the clinic where Jill worked, and he's jonesing for a fix.
Yeah,
and there's a kerfuffle, and he causes her miscarriage by banging the door into her.
Yeah,
I believe
it's a complete accident.
Kramer is taking revenge by at the same time using his trap as the
But again,
the pretext.
It's kind of, do you like your life enough to go through this?
But even though when he does escape it, he still tries to attack John.
Yeah,
I believe
he didn't learn his lesson.
Does he fall into a pit of barbed wire or something?
I can't remember what happened.
I feel like he does.
I think it's weird that we both forgot this trap existed.
And then
the moment we saw it was like, oh my god, wow, we put this one out of our heads. This is a good one.
how the immediate pain caused him to scream and struggle after a few moments.
Cage filled with razor wire, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, circular. Like it.
Oh,
Look at that.
I wouldn't.
You don't think circular?
No, I wouldn't begrudge this going to chainsaw.
Really? Okay.
I like the idea that we've got one from each film up in chainsaw. Although, I think it has to be circular because we didn't remember it straight away. The moment we saw it like that, but
yeah,
I'd forgotten. It's a really good idea.
It's a great idea. It's very simplistic as well.
Yeah. Knives on springs, like it's such a. Because I think the idea was that he was going to be killed. I think it was maybe a shotgun or something, and he had to. There was the button through that he had to go through the knives to press the button to turn off the timer or something. But it's such a good idea.
These are the last couple of this. I say last couple. The last few of this film: spine cutter, ice block, pendulum trap.
The spine cutters. Who controls the British crown?
It's actually spine cutters and ice block. So spine cutters and ice block kind of go hand in hand. The ice block, as I mentioned earlier, is above Donnie Wahlberg, and it's the two big ice blocks that will eventually
squish his brace.
Complete, and they do.
Spoiler alert.
This one, I don't remember as much. It's on the back of Art's back. I don't remember how it's attached to him. Oh, let's read it. This trap device was attached to the victim's back with a leather harness. It was an elongated contraption with two pliers at its upper end. These pliers were aimed at the victim's neck and would cut his spine if he didn't. So it's simply just big pair of scissors that would cut into his spine.
But this is to make Art do stuff. This is very much the shotgun bullet. The shotgun shell.
Yeah, right.
Around
You're right. Around the doctor's.
The doctor, yeah.
You're right. Yeah, which we've got in Hacksaw. And it's a mix of Zepp's test and the shotgun collar because he's controlling this film, basically.
Yep.
So, Hacksaw?
Hacksaw, yeah.
And the ice block, I don't see it really as a trap for who is in the image, Donnie Wahlberg, because he can't do anything about it. He's trapped, he's on a scales, and if the scales go out of position, he gets his head crushed. So, I think that's down to Hammer. It's not a trap for him, it's a trap for the whole film.
He can't save himself, can he?
No, no, not at all.
No one can save him. He can be saved.
Rig, I believe, the SWAT team member who's going through the film
could have saved him.
So
this
but
goes
didn't follow the
Hacksaw.
rules.
This goes in Hacksaw because everything in Hammer is just a booby trap.
Oh, it's similar to Jeff's final test.
Yeah, so
yeah, fine.
He could have survived. It's an interesting idea, just a splush.
Yeah, just a splush.
But again, this is another very basic.
Yeah,
not a lot of engineering in this one, but it's interesting.
Well, there's quite a lot of engineering.
Okay,
to make a
no, you're right.
There's quite a lot of engineering.
Sorry, I'm just comparing it to. I keep comparing things to The Rack because of the amount of engineering for all the twisties. Yeah. This is okay. Stay balanced.
Yeah.
But it's still the idea that your head being squished is an interesting one.
Yeah. Yeah.